I've been noticing this interesting pattern a lot in relationships with people that I see as a therapist, where there's a lot of love or care in certain relationships, but there's not a lot of respect. And so if we feel like our partner's not respecting us, what can I do to try to cultivate more respect? And in most situations, before the respect can grow, there often has to be more accountability first. How do you do that? And what does that look like? Part of the answer is you have to start holding your partner more accountable for the way that they're treating you. Now, this is where it gets tricky. If you try to hold someone else accountable before you take personal accountability, then that is manipulation and hypocrisy. And that does not fly. That's just not cool. That actually creates more disrespect in the relationship when we do that. And so let's break this down a little bit and give a good view of what this actually ideally looks like. The first thing that would be helpful is to understand how responsible you are in the conflict that's going on in your relationship. How responsible are we in conflict? Well, for conflict to occur in your relationship, every time there's a conflict, it always requires a negative response, a negative emotion in the other person or response, and also a negative emotion occurring in you at the same exact time, and then those collide. So what does that mean? It means that anytime there's conflict in any of your relationships, you are always to some degree responsible. One of the most beautiful things that Christ taught is he taught, if you're trying to get dirt out of someone else's eye, you need to clean the dirt out of your own eye first. And then you'll be able to see clearly to get the dirt out of your partner's eye or your brother's eye. It's a powerful message. So that's what we're talking about. It's really important for you to take accountability first before you try to hold someone else accountable. What does that mean? What does that look like? Well, it looks like even if you're only 5% responsible, taking ownership of that first and then communicating that. And then it's totally the right thing to do or the fair thing to do to then hold your partner accountable. Example, let's say there's a couple and the wife says, hey, can you do the dishes tonight? And the husband says, for sure, I got it. And then the husband gets distracted and doesn't do the dishes. The next morning, the wife is livid, really upset. And she's upset and reacting and angry at a level 9. And she's saying all these things. So ideally, if the husband's trying to cultivate more respect, he would take responsibility of his part first, which is not doing the dishes. Is he responsible for this level 9 reaction in his wife? No. There's no way that not doing the dishes when he said he was would warrant a reaction to that degree. But he is responsible for not doing what he said he was going to do. And so that's what he then wants to communicate. So what does this look like? It looks like him approaching his wife and saying, hey, like, I'm really sorry. I got distracted and I didn't do the dishes, and that's totally on me. I am going to do better and try to be more aware of following through when I say I'm going to do something. That's all he wants to say. He needs to make sure he doesn't say, hey, I'm sorry for what happened. He needs to be more specific than that, because if he apologizes for the whole thing, she might not take accountability for her part. He just needs to be really clear. Hey, I am sorry, and I'm taking ownership of this and what I'm responsible for. Okay. Ideally, the wife then says, you know, most people in that situation on the wife's end in this example will then say something like, you know what, I'm sorry too. I overreacted. I think there's some buildup of some other emotions or other pain that is there that I need to look at. But, so that's ideally how she responds. But what if she doesn't respond that way? What if she says, thanks for apologizing, and that's it, to the husband? It's totally appropriate. This is where the accountability comes in and cultivating respect, it's totally appropriate for the husband to then say, hey, like, I took accountability for my part, and I'm asking you and wanting you to do the same. And it's okay for him to say something like, I took ownership of my part, and there's no way me not doing the dishes can cause you to have such a strong reaction that way and to say all these things that you said to me. And so I'm really wanting and needing you to take a look at that. If you're in a healthy relationship, she might not respond well to that in the moment, but it's something that needs to be brought up maybe even the next day. Like, hey, like, we both need to be taking accountability and working on ourselves for this relationship to grow and get better. And so we need to talk about this. If she continues to not to be defensive or not respond well to that, this is what John Gottman refers to as the end of days of the relationship. The relationship is going to head towards ending. As long as we are taking accountability for our part first, it is actually the right thing to do, and it's totally okay to cultivate this culture of accountability from our partner. And if they then take accountability, we can start to develop a deeper love and grow together.